What it is, guys, my name is Swifterrs, and today I'm coming at you guys with a brand new Black Ops 3 Zombies video. Today, I'm going to be talking to you guys about the upcoming Revelations Zombies map. We're going to be diving a little bit deeper into the concept of the blood vials, and I have for you all a very interesting theory. Now, before I do get started, if you guys would be ever so kind enough as to go ahead and follow me on my brand new Instagram account, at The Real Swifterrs. I will have a link to it down in the description below. I'm going to be posting a ton of photos on here. I'm also going to be interacting with you guys through comments and through Instagram DMs. Again, the link to that Instagram can be found in the description below. So with all of that being said, let's get started with today's video, taking a look at the blood vials within Revelations. Alright guys, so the concept of the blood vials dates back to Origins. As you guys recall, within the Origins teaser, we were able to see that Richtofen was carrying the blood vials with the prison identification numbers 481B and 386A. These, of course, were the prison identification numbers of our Mob of the Dead characters, Salvador De Luca and Michael O'Leary. Now, as soon as we discovered that Mob of the Dead was tying into Origins and that Richtofen was carrying those prison identification numbers, the community went insane. It was very confusing in regard to the storyline as to why exactly Richtofen was carrying those blood vials of only two of the Mob of the Dead characters, as I mentioned, Salvador De Luca and Michael O'Leary. Now, at the time, we didn't know that Mob of the Dead was such a significant map in regard to our storyline. Of course, Mob of the Dead was very unique. We could hear Albert Arlington, or the Weasel, referencing Nikolai so many times, and it was always a little bit weird as to why Richtofen did not have the blood vials of Albert Arlington. But within Black Ops 3, we have learned that it's very possible that the Weasel could very well be Dr. Monty. So of course, by the end of Origins, or by the end of Black Ops 2, we had that 3-year period from Black Ops 2 to Black Ops 3, and the idea of the blood vials was sort of put on the back burner in regard to the zombie storyline. But of course, as we received Black Ops 3, the hype and the confusion for the blood vials did return. We progressed to Shadows of Evil, and of course, Richtofen is the only individual having these blood vials. We can see him coming out of the ether or the infinite, wherever that is, wherever that portal leads to. Again, you can see the blood vials on his jacket. So as of now, Richtofen is the only character that has these blood vials in our entire 4-man crew: Richtofen, Takio, Nikolai, and Dempsey. Richtofen is still the only one that has blood vials. We go to Der Eisendrache. Again, Richtofen is the only one with these blood vials. Zetsuba no Shima comes around, and this time it's a little bit different. So we have the Zetsuba no Shima Easter egg ending cutscene. Of course, as expected, Takio 1.0 is slain and his soul is captured by the summoning key. At the very end, or within the final seconds of this Easter egg ending, we can hear Dempsey say to the crew and say to Richtofen, Nikolai, and Takio, "Well, Nikolai, I guess you're next." However, Richtofen denies this and says that there is something that they need to do.
3 down, 1 to go. Guess it's you next, Nikolai.
Nein, there is something else we must do. There is a chain of events that must be set in motion.
So whatever chain of events that needed to be set in motion, our crew takes care of that at the end of the Zetsuba no Shima Easter egg. Technically, this is an insurance policy, just in case something were to go wrong within the future. So upon our crew's return into Zetsuba no Shima from taking care of those chain of events that needed to be set in motion and acquiring that insurance policy, everyone, Richtofen, Takio, Nikolai, and Dempsey, they all have blood vials. However, the interesting thing, of course, is that Richtofen is still the only character that has the blood vials with the prison identification numbers, whereas Nikolai, Takio, and Dempsey's blood vials do not have any markings on them whatsoever. So at this point in time, again, the community blew up. The community was eager for answers. They were eager to discover the true meaning and the significance of those blood vials. Gorod Krovi comes around. And unfortunately, we still really didn't receive any answers regarding those blood vials, which I personally was very disappointed about. However, I have heard from multiple people, and I've actually read this on a couple of different zombies forums, that there's actually an audio quote within Gorod Krovi from Dempsey talking to Richtofen, and he says this: "So Richtofen, after we drink this, what happens next?" So I've heard that Dempsey says this quote after the Gorod Krovi Easter egg ending cutscene, once our players return into the map and once our players have sent their 1.0 character souls up to the house. So it's very possible that sometime in the future within Revelations, our characters will need to drink from the blood vials and consume the blood. This could be very interesting, and there are a couple of different reasons why this could be possible. So again, we go back to Richtofen's blood vials. He of course is carrying our Mob of the Dead characters' blood, Salvador De Luca and Michael O'Leary, and the reason why I think Richtofen has chosen these blood vials in particular, or at least why Treyarch have made it so apparent that the prison identification numbers match up to our Mob of the Dead characters, is because, as you guys recall, within Mob of the Dead, these characters had somewhat of a special ability. They were able to access Purgatory mode. So, by obtaining the blood of our Mob of the Dead characters, Richtofen is seeking that Purgatory mode. Now, due to the fact that all of our characters are now carrying blood vials after the Zetsubo no Shima Easter egg cutscene, when they travel to this unknown place and they set that specific chain of events in motion, there is this theory, or there is this idea, that all of our characters are now carrying blood from individual crew members from previous zombie crews. So what I mean by that is that we have had a total of 6 different zombie crews throughout our zombie storyline, excluding the Marine Recon team that we played as back in Nocturne Untoten and back in Verrucht. So from the top left, we have our Origins crew. These are our 2.0 characters. We're playing as them in the Black Ops 3 zombie storyline. In the bottom left-hand corner, we have our 1.0 characters. We of course have killed all of our 1.0 characters, collected their souls, and sent them to the house. So in the bottom middle, we have our Mob of the Dead crew. As we know, Richtofen has the blood vials of Salvador De Luca and Michael Finn O'Leary. Richtofen has the Mob of the Dead crew blood. It's very possible that our other characters have blood from the other 3 zombie crews. So maybe, just maybe, it's possible that Takio has blood vials from some Shadows of Evil characters, Nikolai has blood vials from some Call of the Dead characters, and maybe Dempsey has some blood vials from some Transit characters. Now again, we do not know whose blood Dempsey, Nikolai, and Takio are carrying because the blood vials are not marked. So, we do not know whose blood are in these vials. Again, this is just a theory, but I really wanted to get your guys' opinion on this. Do you guys think that our characters are carrying blood vials from every crew that we've had in our zombie storyline? One final thing I wanted to point out is that within the brand new Revelations Prologue, we can clearly see that our characters are still carrying those blood vials, which does mean the blood vials are not gone, they will be resolved, and some answers will hopefully be revealed within Revelations. Whether our characters drink the blood, whether they do something else, I'm very hopeful to see the true meaning and the true significance of those blood vials. Guys, please be sure to let me know your thoughts about today's video in the comment section below. I am very curious as to what you all think. With all of that being said, I'll be sure to catch you guys later.
Is the most powerful artifact in this or any other dimension.
can save you.